like a big rainbow. Boom! It was coming up. Boom, boom. And I was like, yeah, yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Honestly, why are you trying to kill me, man?
Get ready. Come on, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? They call me
Oh my God, he just ran in.
Holy cannoli! It's my favorite talk show, Lee. The Overdose Talk Show!
And just like that, we're back on the scene. All of you Antifa cucks and you alt-right neo-Nazis, you've got some splaining to do. We haven't been ourselves the past couple years, but here we are back all in Illinois, all in the same room. We're trying to recapture the old magic.
It really is
spark.
a blessing.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Come on.
Hi.
What the fuck?
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, you sounded like you had more to say.
Alex.
What's up?
David Box.
Hello.
Andrea.
As always.
That's the crew. Let's see, what do we got? 11/8/2017, 9:53 p.m., time of death. Every other YouTube show. You're all fucking dead. We're here to fucking destroy all of you. What are those drunken... Yeah.
Fucking drunken peasants.
Drunken peasants.
Oh, yeah.
Legion of Skanks. Louder with Crowder.
Yeah.
Who
We
else?
can all eat a couple of dicks as far as we
Eat
care.
a bowl of dick up. We're back in town. Yeah, dude, it was weird. Now I'm back in the town where I grew up. It's called Downers Grove, Illinois, where all these cucks have been living this whole time. And coming from the middle of New Orleans and doing all this crazy shit all the time and having that sort of lifestyle back to this like small town Illinois vibe, it was terrifying at first. I thought I was going to be arrested every 2 hours here.
Yeah.
Like
I still feel like that.
the first thing that happened when I showed up was there's a cop. I was standing outside smoking a cigarette, and a cop like drives by all slow, staring me down.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, I forgot about this.
Are you old enough to smoke that cigarette,
Right?
son?
Yeah. But I was real worried about our living situation at first too.
Which was precarious when you arrived,
And
in that you had no plans whatsoever.
so
And
Andrew,
just a couple days to figure it out.
yes, we showed up with really we didn't even know where we were gonna stay.
No.
We're just like,
Just a truck
Two
full of all
cats.
of your trash.
we needed to get out of Louisiana. Yeah.
No reason.
But
You're like an immigrant.
A refugee.
well, it's weird. I grew up here, and you guys thought I was being kind of dramatic about it, but you can't kind of imagine the culture shock of like leaving New Orleans and going to a stiff small town environment. It's just very weird. It's you're used to just grabbing a drink, walking around, smoking a blunt on the sidewalk, yelling with people.
Are you trying to big time us right now?
Yeah,
City boy.
I'm just saying it was really weird at first, and I was very worried about being trying to fit into this like quiet environment and all that
contained.
stuff. So I get an apartment. Andrea, would you like to explain what our living situation is like now?
Okay. It's like a dorm meets Seinfeld. Vinny and I are next door to each other in our two apartments.
Yes.
And down the hall on the same floor, around the corner in their own private corner, my mom has an apartment and our sister has an apartment as well.
So yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's a caliphate, and it's spreading.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and so we got this apartment was open. We jumped in here.
Somehow. And here's the weirdest thing is that people usually live in this building for like 10, 15, 20, even more than that years. These
Say
people,
more numbers.
People
Go ahead.
die here.
17. Yeah, people die here. The people who had this apartment that you're in were here for 17 years, and it happened to open up the week that you were moving back.
It was just serendipitous.
Yeah,
to say the
that's how we
least.
all got our apartments. Were very serendipitous, all exact perfect timing from people who lived there for like 20 and 30 years.
So anyways, what the hell was that?
Andrea's flailing her
flailed my
gigantic
arms.
hands and pounding on the table.
That was a really
Andrea's-
weird coincidence because the second you did that, my computer went to sleep. Right
I
at that
thought I
time, I thought you just
unplugged
broke my
something.
computer or something.
Yeah, I thought the
It's
machine
the Russians.
went
Yeah.
down.
So anyways, so yeah, it was cool. Our whole family is living in the same hallway in separate apartments, and and I'm worried though. I'm like, how am I going to get along in this place? You know, I'll make too much noise. People will hate me. They'll be coming in and out late at night and blah blah blah. And the first night we're here, I had something very reassuring take place. And were you there, Andrea? You witnessed the whole thing.
Yeah, we were all here. We ended up sneaking down separate stairwells to spy on what was happening.
So what happened is me and David Box are, we walk from my apartment next door to his apartment. We're picking up a table, bringing it over here. We come out in the hallway and we just hear all this screaming and pounding and fucking and bullshit. We're like, what the hell is this? So we run in, of course, we run and get everybody else. Like, hey, there's something going on.
This is the most exciting thing that's happened here since we moved in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made sure David Box had his phone going.
Yeah. So we got some audio for you guys of what it's like in our building. But what are you asking me? Sorry.
I'm waiting for your cue to play the clip.
Oh, sorry. He's like leaning around the side staring at me. I was like, what is this?
Because I know I realize you can't see me because of the computer monitor, so I'm just like, hey,
Yes.
what's going on, handsome?
So I was like, David Box, film. And so we run down the stairs. He's filming this whole situation. Should we just go through it?
Yeah.
You don't need the video. The audio is good enough.
No.
So here's what it's like in our building and why I was reassured that I probably won't be the biggest asshole here.
Yeah.
Check it out. Go ahead. That's our mom coming out. What is going on? We're all in our 30s. Standing there in the hallway. What is going on, guys? It's not us.
This is the floor below all of them.
Yeah. This is this lady standing outside of her own apartment. Dude, she's pounding the fuck out of that door. Now! Hey, pause for 1 second. We should also explain this is what, like 2, 3 in the morning?
I was about to say,
Something
I was
like
going
that?
to see if I have a
so it's
time on
late
my
as
video.
fuck.
Yeah, it was late as
Really
fuck.
late.
And this is a quiet ass town and building. All right, let it keep going. You just hear us like, come on.
Oh, here comes Katie.
Okay, so at this point, our other sister, who also lives in this hallway, comes out.
She has to get up for work in the morning.
She's trying to sleep, and she's like, what the fuck is this? And so this is where she gets involved.
This was 12:45. I just checked the
Oh,
time
okay.
on my video. So.
All right, late enough.
Excuse me. Hey, what's going on down here?
She's tired.
I live here. He's physically abusive.
Those are two flat out lies, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He opened the door. She threw a drill. Oh, yeah, I threw a drill. Listen, guys.
Play that just that again.
Back it up a couple
She threw a drill at me. They were talking to Katie like they were two like grade school children,
And she was their mom.
and she was a teacher or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, he's physically abusive. She threw a drill at me.
I live here. He's
Yeah.
physically abusive.
Yeah, but let's hear that again really quick.
Oh, look it. He opened the door. She threw a drill. Oh, yeah, I threw a drill in him. Listen, guys. I gave you the keys.
What a weird thing. Who throws a drill at somebody? Like, I could see, like, okay, he or she tried to drill me with a drill, right? That's normal.
Right.
You can drill somebody,
I
torture
know a
them.
drill is pretty
but-
heavy.
It was the closest thing to her. No, she was working on hanging something.
Yeah.
And he was just being too particular about where all the pictures were.
No, that's not level.
not
It looks
right.
weird.
Fine, you do it.
You hang that thing right or I'll abuse you.
She threw a drill at me. One of the greatest things I ever heard.
He sounds genuine too. Like I believe him.
Yeah.
And
Someone
then,
threw a drill at that guy.
then while this is going on, me and Alex are like hiding around the corner, just listening, like giggling and stuff. Andrea's filming from another angle. Yeah. But let's keep rolling through it.
I will, and on my phone. And I will. My keys and my phone.
What did I do to you?
Listen, listen. What did you do to me?
That liar.
That's the question.
Yeah, that's-
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, John.
That's the biggest indication that somebody's lying. They just repeat the question indignantly.
Yeah.
Did you steal this $500? Did I steal $500?
Now, Katie said that this woman had a cut on her arm. So I wonder if perhaps she gestured towards the cut, like, oh, what did he do to me?
Oh, okay. So she's like, oh, look at this. He's fucking scratched me with a paperclip or something.
Yeah.
Or what's
She
that?
probably passed out from whatever she's on and just like fell and cut herself.
Scratched herself on a drill on the way down.
Yeah.
Their whole
They're
house is just full of
everywhere,
drills.
yeah.
Yeah. They're fucking obsessed with them.
A door-to-door drill
It's
salesman.
a totally normal thing. These people get in drill fights.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, yeah. Let's hear a little more.
There's a bunch of us trying to sleep here. I have to be at work in the morning.
Yeah, exactly,
Do you need
John.
help?
That lady's
But
not
if I
working.
do, what number are you? I just need
I'm
my
in
phone and my
33.
keys.
I'm in 33.
I'll be right over here.
I'm gonna stand right here.
I did
All right,
not.
you guys need to calm down. Okay, you need help right now.
No, ma'am. No, miss.
Okay, I'm
See, the guy's like, see.
well then.
So here comes the ghost girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's
there was
another
this
weird part
thing.
of it. Yeah, some other chick just walks out of her apartment while this is going on, and she had this fucking like dead to the world face. Like, I honestly think she may have been sleepwalking or half sleepwalking. You know, like
I half expected her not to appear in the video.
you just
Yeah, I go, who the fuck is this? Yeah, she's like
so during this,
silently moving.
She walks past all of us,
Right past me and Vinny.
and she walks past the people arguing into their apartment. Not only did she do that without acknowledging anyone, the people whose apartment it was didn't acknowledge her. And she
none
just,
of us did.
and she just walks into their apartment. She's in there for 10, 15 seconds and then just walks back out. Same like dreamy look on her face. And I tried to say hi to her. I was like, hey, or something, you know, and she just walked right past me, no acknowledgement, and walked back into her apartment. Like, what the fuck was that?
She went twice. I have on my video, she leaves her apartment, comes back, leaves again, and comes back.
So, yeah. So, I don't know what she was up
just
to.
some additional chaotic layer to what was happening.
Yeah, that was one of those, like, in a surreal situation. Then, like, 10 minutes later, you're like, and what the fuck was with that girl? What was that?
probably finds
Start checking to see if you're dreaming, flipping the lights on and off.
Yeah, she really creeped us out in the middle of this whole thing, and we still don't know what the fuck. Why did she go in their apartment?
And you know
why
what
didn't
else?
they care that she went in there?
I've seen most of the people who live in this building, and I have never seen her before.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, yeah, I guess she could have been a ghost.
Yeah.
Vinny, are you talking about is that the girl I pointed out to you when she walked back into her apartment?
Oh, and Alex, yeah, during that. That's right, because she came back out because Alex is standing there with his back to her apartment, and he's like, who was that? And she walked back out, and she's right behind Alex, and I was being like, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, she's pretty fucking sexy, you know? And she's, you know, as soon as he says it, he sees her walk past him.
Of course.
Like, perfect timing, and I was just laughing at him like, fucking idiot. So, yeah, you had the weird ghost sleepwalk girl going on. Should we just keep
Yeah,
going
let's
through the rest
hear a
of it?
little more.
I'm trying to sleep.
He really don't have to film me. Whoever is filming me.
Okay, can we please be quiet because I'm at
Wait,
work.
back it up.
There's a whole building full of
Obvious.
Back it up like a couple seconds before you started it,
Do you
yeah.
want to go? What is going on? I mean, I'm trying to sleep.
He really don't have to film me. Whoever is filming me.
That's David Box.
Yeah.
Okay, can we please be quiet because
But to David Box's credit, too, he...
Obviously.
All right.
Obviously. To David Box's credit, he was very unintimidated. They were just like, well, thanks for filming. And he was just still standing there with like...
like a soldier.
He had the facial expression of, yeah, like every cameraman you've ever seen who's like trying to stay out of, like, because David Box does professional video work, and you could tell he was really looked like it. He was like in a professional stance, you know, with like his feet wide apart and his phone up, and just had that look of every cameraman who like doesn't interact with the surrounding world at all. It's like, I'm not part of this. I'm just filming.
I was in the zone. I wish I got more in their faces because I stayed behind the corner, but
Yeah, that's why we're not even going to bother putting the video up, whatever. It's really just the audio.
I didn't want to escalate the situation, and Katie honestly looked really pissed at me.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand what we do. Let's.
And
just,
also, I know, I acquainted myself with this John guy, and he was really nice. So I didn't want to embarrass him either.
yeah, well, you hear him when she goes, and you don't, whatever she said about filming, he goes, yeah, really.
Well, he didn't see me, so that's okay.
They didn't like that, but yeah, let's hear the rest.
Here long enough to know that part. And I totally apologize. This was never me. He walks back in. He goes to the bar every night. Okay. No. That's not even half of the story. But his sister-in-law's there, so all of a sudden he's right back here. Like, immediately. And I'm like, I'm just sitting down watching TV.
This lady's on meth.
Yeah.
And then I asked him why he wanted.
Ghost girl walks just right past.
If you want to hear their side or my side of the story or yours.
Oh yeah, hear mine. I'm in bed and she throws a drill at me.
What was he doing
No,
in
he's
the
just,
bed?
He's just laying in bed. She came in and throws a drill at him.
What am I going to throw this drill at?
Yeah.
John,
Your fucking lazy ass
what's
hanging out
with
with
this
your
cut on my arm?
hanging out with your stepsister at the bar or whatever the fuck she was talking about. Just rambling, and then if you listen close, you hear Katie in the background like, all right, okay.
Yeah. What was the problem? He went to the bar and then he came right back.
Right. Came right back, and you can tell she's like looking like, see?
Yeah. What would you do?
The fuck is going on? Yeah. So I threw a drill at the fucking faggot. What do you want? Let's hear the drill part one more time.
I don't want to hear. And then I asked him why he wanted. If you want to hear their side or my side of the story or yours.
Oh yeah, hear mine. I'm in bed and she throws a drill at me.
She doesn't really want to hear your side.
I don't want to hear anything. That's the point. I don't want to hear anything. And all I can hear is screaming. I'm on
you better
in
believe
the other
it.
corner.
Thank you though. You got him to open up the door.
All right. Well, I hope that you're safe, and I hope that nothing happens, and I also hope I don't hear any more fucking screaming.
You better believe it. And if I found dead.
And if I'm found dead, she says.
Yeah, make sure you get play that part. Yeah, that's the greatest. This is like we were sitting there like, man, this couldn't have been written any better. This is awesome.
And if I found dead, you're gonna know who did it.
Well, all right. Well, that's really tough. I don't know what to fucking say to that.
Whatever, just saying. Did you get that on tape?
Oh, Jesus. Yes, I did.
Yes, thank you. And it's going on YouTube.
Yeah.
You
Here you
fucking
go.
And if I'm
mess
found
of
dead,
a lady.
Did you guys find any dead fucking crackheads?
Not this week.
Yeah, I feel like I would have heard about it. But who would notice?
These
people can't have too many friends.
Are out there. They live the floor below us, and they'll climb out onto their rooftop there, which is right below my bedroom window, and just fucking stand on the roof and smoke weed.
Yeah, because they're
Right
old.
outside my
They think they need to
window.
go like to a secret place outside to smoke.
Except they picked like a really stupid secret place because it's right outside my window.
And so you took a bunch of pictures of them.
And so I snuck a bunch of. I just like held my phone around the corner and took a bunch of pictures of them. That's how I was able to show you guys what they looked like.
What are
after
their
this
names?
altercation.
John and something.
John and something weird.
Yeah,
I can't
drill
remember.
bitch.
Whatever it is,
Drill
we're
bitch.
gonna collect as much material from these people as we can.
Yeah, we'll get them.
Man.
I
feel bad for John because we may have just let an abuser back into his house.
Yeah, dude, she seems like the crazy one in
He
that situation.
finally stood up to her, and we were like, listen, John, let her back in.
The man is
Look at
never
her.
right.
How hard could you really throw that drill?
You know,
I mean, come on.
what do you do in that scenario when you have this crazy lady screaming in an apartment and all these strangers show up? And then this lady did just throw a drill at you, and you're trying to explain it, but it doesn't make any sense.
They had to have woken up the next day and just been like, oh, fuck. Like,
We've done it this time, John.
Was that real? Oh, no. But yeah, this is why I felt so much better. I'm like, oh, okay, this can happen.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
No one
you know?
called the
Like,
cops or anything.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Nothing.
Like, this is great.
The fact that no one calls the cops makes me think that everyone in here has something to hide.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like we're just scratching the surface of what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to the landlord the next day. The landlord came by as I was still kind of getting moved in, And I kind of mentioned, I was like, yeah, there's like this big fight in the hallway. He's like, oh, that's, I'm sorry about that. I was, sorry. I was like, I love shit like that. I was like, I'm fine with that. I don't know if it bothered anyone else, but don't worry about me. I wish that would happen every 3 or 4 nights just for some entertainment, Like every night, maybe not, but maybe. I don't know if it's this good. Did we get all the way through it, or?
I think Katie says some shit at the end.
This is us all just running away like children.
I'm gonna get my boobs in that because they're all crazy.
Okay.
All right, well, that's good though.
What was the last thing she said about you filming? Oh, did you get that on film?
Yeah,
tape.
If I'm
On
found
tape?
dead,
Yeah.
you know who did it. Did you get that on tape?
Right. Yeah. Yes, we did. Thank God. Can we do that one little part one more time?
Yeah.
This is the thing about getting found dead, and did you find? And by the way, no one has gotten anything on tape in 35 years.
Yeah.
There's not any tape anymore.
Yeah, what is this device you think I'm holding right now?
Right. Yeah. It's got a little VHS that comes out of
Yeah.
it, like opens up.
happens, and I also hope I don't hear any more fucking screaming.
You better believe it. And if I'm found dead, you're gonna know who
Well,
did it.
all right. Well, that's really tough. I don't even know what to fucking say to that.
Whatever, just saying. Did you get that on tape?
It slams John's door.
I also love how this lady is so indignant this whole time, and she's clearly being a drunken fucking fool and just disturbing the entire place. Like, oh, but it's rude. You're filming. Like, oh yeah, you seem like
we're the rude ones.
You seem like a person who's got a good handle on etiquette.
Yeah.
This is.
Wait.
Are you gonna try to hear the pounding?
Yeah,
again?
that's what I was.
We could hear this from the other corner.
Dude, we can hear this
upstairs.
upstairs
Yeah.
and down the hall. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
That was fun.
All right. Well, that's
They're gonna
John
call the
and
cops now, John.
whatever the fuck her name is.
On you.
Drill bitch. Watch
Drill
out,
bitch.
man. She'll get you.
Yeah. Well,
Well, so maybe it won't be so bad after all.
I think I'm fine. I think I'm just fine here.
You're blending right in.
Yeah.
There was a failed civil war this week. Did you guys notice?
Yeah, I was gonna say
They keep trying to pump up this civil war. It's not working. Nobody wants to fight a civil war these
No.
days. People are lazy.
This
you know
is
what I mean?
actually a very poor attempt. I didn't even realize it was happening. I had no idea it was coming.
Yeah.
No one told me.
Well, the rumor was for a while that there was supposed to be, and by the way, me and Alex looked into this, and it seemed to be all sourced back to these janky ass websites, and it seemed like a pretty clear, just like bullshit story. It was that on November 4th, Antifa and whoever were going to begin a revolution or a civil war.
It's the
and stuff.
100-year revolution.
By the way, what the fuck do they want, Antifa? I don't understand what any of these people want. Like,
Dude, it's easy.
What?
It stands for anti-fascism.
Oh, right, that's right.
So they're just anti, if you're not
They
with
just
them,
don't
you're
want
for
fascism.
fascism.
Yeah,
right?
no.
I mean,
I love that attitude too. Yeah,
cut and dry.
Well, if you're against anti-fascist, you know what that means.
Listen,
Oh, God,
it is definitely the winning argument and the moral one, and that's why you have to wear a mask.
Right? Yeah. But I don't get their what would the Antifa revolution look like? Because they're not for free market or capitalist or individualism, so they need some kind of like government structure, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they hate it.
But they hate it.
Yeah.
And nobody can be rich. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
For anyone to live well.
But we
would
all
be,
need everything. We need
Punching Nazis, smashing windows, and doing ecstasy, and listening to techno music.
Okay. We're getting a little bit closer to something I want to
starting
do.
fires of,
Yeah.
that seems to be their thing.
I do the ecstasy, I guess.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Yeah, but like, so anyways, me and Alex looked into it. We decided not even to talk about it a few weeks ago because like this looks like complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And then it starts like Alex Jones kept going on and on with it. There's an Antifa revolution coming, and it's like all these people keep hyping it up. And so then that day we find out Rand Paul on November 4th, when the revolution is supposed to start, somebody attacks Rand Paul at his house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rand Paul assaulted in his house. Man charged with Category 4 assault, whatever that is.
Yeah. But it turned out to just be his neighbor.
Yeah.
Who was pissed off at him for something, and they got in an argument. And he got hurt, though. What do you have? A couple
This
broken
sounds
ribs?
like a clear
Like-
conspiracy.
Well,
Now it sounds like the premise to a TV show.
Oh, he tweeted a medical update. Final report indicates 6 broken ribs, and new X-ray shows pleural effusion.
Oh my God.
You really
Do you think
don't
it's
want
good?
that.
Do you think it's good to have that?
Probably not.
Probably
a good
not,
thing.
right? Yeah. That's yeah. So that sounds like a serious fight. 6 broken ribs.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's like
Yeah.
an attack with a weapon. You don't get
Get his
that
ass kicked.
unless they knock him down and just.
Oh,
kick
you
the
could
shit
break
out of
somebody's
him.
ribs kicking them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ribs are like toothpicks.
Yeah.
Nothing.
6 ribs.
Crickety crack.
I was worried about that.
Is it 6 on
brittle
one
is Rand
side?
Paul? What a pussy.
Yeah.
How did he get 6 ribs broken?
I don't know, man.
That's pretty crazy.
We're not going to find out either. I'm
No,
sure.
yeah.
Well, that's a wild coincidence.
Why?
Was that? I mean, is anyone trying to say that that was the beginning of the Civil War there? Or
I'm sure that a lot of people did, because at first the whole news story was Rand Paul is attacked in his home, and we both thought like, oh, some fucking loony actually thought this was real and went and
Yeah.
tried to kill Rand
Yeah.
Paul or something.
Yeah.
And but no, that has nothing to do with
It's just
anything.
No.
completely different.
But Alex Jones will take it and go, well, this guy was a registered Democrat and blah blah blah, you know, and
Yeah. And then he's and the whole thing is this is the 100th anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution.
well, and we all know how well that turned out, you know?
Right.
How are there Americans that want to recreate something like the Bolshevik Revolution? How are people that fucking retarded?
Brainwashing is different than being stupid, though.
Okay, fine.
So, I mean, there is an element of that. When people want to find information that confirms their own thoughts, it's abundant. It's easy to get carried away if you're not super sharp and you are trying to learn something complicated.
Or you just want to be part of something and you really don't know anything about it at all.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, because 99% of the time you press someone on their beliefs about stuff
I mean,
like
the
that.
Bolshevik Revolution, if I'm remembering correctly, led into a massive mass slaughter genocide situation eventually.
Yeah,
As
So-
most communist regimes
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it started as a populist movement and people got real fed up. A lot like what's going on now. I was thinking about that for the past year or two. You know, a lot of things kind of remind me of it, how there's this attitude brewing of like, oh, it's rich people's fault. We should be able to have whatever we want to and blah, blah, blah. And that kind of thing that leads to like, you know, I guess it is possible for it to lead to groups of people going around. You know, what was going on at that time, they were people who didn't want to assimilate to the new way of life, the bourgeois, you know,
Yeah.
they were mobs going around to their houses and dragging them out and killing them and shit, you know, and like, so it is possible, you know, it has happened. And those are people literally doing the government's work for it.
Right.
Like, yes, we support your socialism so much. We're going to all mob up spontaneously and fucking
Risk our lives for it.
yeah, and start dragging rich people around and taking all their stuff and distributing it up and everything. And
yeah.
I mean, it's creepy.
It's yeah, creepy's a good word
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. So why are there any Americans that want that again? I don't know.
I don't know. Why does anybody join anything that doesn't make sense? Why is the Klan so prevalent? You know,
Because
it's
there's
just
no-
like,
Well, those, I mean, you had me for
Are
never
they?
mind.
There's no reason that the top 10th of the 1% should control 100% of the wealth.
Right. Yeah, but that's what they're going to end up doing with social. I mean, like, Dad used to tell us as children, young Andrea, you may recall, communism is a system where everyone's equal except for a few people that are way more equal.
yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand these people that, you know, and most of them, it's weird. What's weird about them is like they do have this sense of like, we don't want this authoritarian power. And we feel the same way to a degree, right? We don't want this situation with the fucking police and all the overbearing parts of government and stuff and all of this.
Police
but
state.
then they want to like create a socialist state You know what I mean? That's
I think
the biggest form of government you could ever have, right? Is full blown socialism.
I think it's an easy step to take for a lot of people when you have been taught your whole life that the government is the most effective runner of large organizations.
And the government can make everything fair, and they can help everyone, and they can take care of everyone.
Right.
Which,
it's not a super crazy leap to say, okay, well, like, then let's let them do the healthcare and just let them be in charge of it.
Yeah.
You know, and then from there, it's a small step to, okay, well, let them do the schools.
I don't understand why people...
They haven't gotten the schools yet.
Aren't they doing all that stuff already?
Not all the schools.
Well, that's right.
But yeah, I was just going to say, like, we're already at a way higher level of socialism in this country than I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, I would agree with that,
you know?
but a lot of people won't identify it that way because they want it stronger and more
like all those Republican
encompassing.
socialists. I've been doing that lately. If I talk to Republicans, I'll be like, well, why are you a socialist? You know, because they think anarchy is just, oh my God, you can't. It'll be a bloodbath. Every day, everyone will murder each other.
The only thing preventing me from murdering is the law.
Right. People don't understand. And also, anarchy doesn't mean absence of rules. It means absence of rulers, you know. So whatever. So, you know, Republicans, I'll ask them, like, why are you... Well, I'm not a socialist. What are you talking about? I hate socialists. Oh, okay. So you don't support the police or the military, right? Because whatever you think about the military, necessary or not, or for defense or for whatever, it's a socialist program.
Right.
100%. It's the definition of it. And that is a good one of those, like, you know, things where people's gears start flying out of their head and sparks and shit.
Does
like,
not compute.
Yeah, oh my God. What happened to my worldview? But yeah, Republicans are just as socialist as Democrats. Everybody is, and I'm not comfortable with the idea that somehow the government can be one of the biggest job providers in the country.
Right.
If not the biggest. Do you want to look up where that's at really quick? Because yeah, we've done this before. I always forget, but you know, one of the biggest job providers is the government. How you don't have to be a fucking in an economics major to understand that can't be sustainable. Where does you're just so everybody else will give you the money to pay all these people on top of all the money you're wasting and giving away to other shit, you know, and like. How is this? How are we already not living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland?
Yeah,
you know,
especially when you're punishing the most productive members of society.
Exactly.
Like,
and the ones that really contribute to the high standard of living that we have, relatively. You know, that provide the fact. You know, people take for granted. I know it sucks to work at a job for $10 an hour, but people take for granted the fact that you can fuck around for 4 years and not do anything and somehow still be okay and then get a job by walking down to Pizza Hut and like standing in an air-conditioned building making food, you know, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you could get a job at Pizza Hut.
Well, sure, but I probably can't with my record.
No,
but
aren't they the white supremacist?
No, that's Papa John's.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that one, yeah.
Right.
But people really do take for granted that, like, yeah, that capitalist system has its really shitty parts. But do you understand, like, how easy it is, honestly, in this country compared to a lot of places? Like, you can just walk down a perfectly nice street, go talk to some people, do something not that hard, get by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Just take a walk outside.
Everybody
breathe
wants
air.
there to be a way around survival taking work. That's the whole thing. Like, capitalists, socialists, whatever, they want this way out of like, if there was no system and no economy and no everything, you'd spend all of your time just finding food and taking, you know, taking care of whatever you had to and trading and whatever, you know, the fuck am I talking about? But
well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know where I was going with that. It was something like,
you don't need the government.
Oh, everybody wants there to just be like a way out of that, like a utopian kind of thing where all of a sudden survival just doesn't take work. And I don't think we'll ever escape that reality, no matter how crazy society gets and automation and everything. Survival just is going to take work. Just that's the cosmic equation. Like, you just don't get to just do it for nothing. Like,
right. And you're going to take what you can get.
Sure.
But with all this, the evolution of AI and robots, if it eventually was at a point where people really didn't have to work at all, then what?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what would you'd still have to do something.
There's some
and
people jobs.
You would go absolutely nuts and be completely fucking depressed without doing anything. You know, you'd have to do something. There'd always be people
You'd
jobs.
build robots.
You do a radio show.
You build robots. Yeah, that's the only job left.
Yeah.
Build
That's how
robots.
it works. Well, you know, and there are certain things that, like, I feel like it's going to take a really long time to replace humans on. Service industry, people like to, like, have a person bring them food.
Right,
I think
that
there's
shit
something
never
kind of
works.
primitive about that.
Whenever they try to automate everything, people fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like, it is. It's like enough already. There's ways to advance with automation without just losing all the soul that's left in society. You
Right.
know, like without completely just eradicating the idea of personal communication and interaction and shit. Like, there's way, like with the grocery store shit. Remember when that started? We were like, I gotta ring up my own shit.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck is this?
What am I paying you for?
If I'm doing the work, then I'm gonna charge myself for one donut and get a dozen.
Well, dude, you know
I
what
used to do that on the way to work every day.
Man, I had
bringing a dozen donuts.
The grocery store where I lived in Willow Springs, they never had somebody watching the self checkout thing.
Yeah.
So I'd go with like $300 of, you know, like all steaks and chicken and whatever else people eat. I don't know, and go up there. And you could ring it up as just bananas, so the barcode thing turns off, and now it's a scale. And that way you fool the baggage area, because the baggage area weight needs to match whatever you had just rung in.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise it'll do
Nice.
that unexpected item in bagging area.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
it's like an alarm going off. You're like, no, I swear I'm not stealing. But so I would take and ring it. Bananas are the least expensive thing in the store by weight. So I would take and just kind of look around. Okay, I might hit the bananas thing, and then just start putting everything on. Like put like 8 steaks on there really quick. Okay, that's $2. Put that over. put that over there. And just weigh everything as bananas, or at least all the expensive stuff, and be getting out of there for like, you know, $10-15 with a huge cart full of shit. I don't know if they would ever notice that, but I always figured, you know what, dude. You're leaving me to ring up the food. No one trained me. I didn't fucking know how to use this machine. I don't know, dude. I can't even read if you want to know the truth. So what the fuck? I always planned on saying that. Like,
No, but if they caught you, like, you could just claim.
Sorry, I don't work
claim
here.
stupidity.
Like,
I didn't know what I was doing.
I did what? Bananas? What are you talking
what do
about?
you-
I thought I weigh everything.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You weigh out the food. And it scans it, right?
And one time, one of the last times I did it, I had done a particularly ridiculous one where it was like literally $200-300 I saved, and I had a ton of shit, and I just got greedy, you know, and I was like, I took everything as bananas, and I'm walking away, and this lady just starts going, sir, and I just ignored her. I was like, I'm fucking out of here, and I'm pushing my cart out, and she starts like running behind me, and I was like, damn it. It's like, sir, and I turn around, and she's holding $2. She's like, you left this $2 in the change thing, and I was like, oh, thanks. Every little bit counts, you know. And,
It really does.
and I took off, and that one spooked me. I was like, I don't think I did it again for a while after that. But every time they try like a fingerprint thing, a fucking facial recognition thing, of automated this, people fucking hate it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, what about the grocery store where you walk in, bag up your shit, and just leave, and it charges automatically? Like,
I didn't know about this.
I think there's an appeal to that. Isn't that what the Amazon grocery store?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's only
They're-
like one or
they're
two of
pilot-
them so
yeah,
far.
They're piloting that somewhere.
So you don't have to lug it around.
Well, how do
You
Oh,
have
Jesus.
you have an app on your phone, and when you enter the phone or when you enter the store, it activates the app basically, and it can track what you're adding to your cart.
Is Amazon going to be what?
They're trying to take over the world.
Yeah. Do they manufacture anything?
No.
No.
Well, once they get into that, it's going to be.
They produce original TV content.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, but it's all really bad.
It's bad.
But
I haven't watched any.
But they have warehouses all over the country. I mean, they just opened one.
But I'm thinking like
close
they're
here.
clearly just going to completely take over all distribution and you know.
Yeah, that's what they're
that
going
way.
for.
They just bought Whole Foods, if I'm
Yeah.
not
Which
is-
mistaken.
yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, they
Get out
did.
of town.
I won't.
But once they start actually manufacturing products, I don't even want to think about what's going to happen.
Yeah,
No,
they
yeah.
have such a massive network and groundwork already laid out. They have their pickup stations now, where they ship your shit into a big giant vending machine and you
They
go
ship
and
your shit.
scan in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then it's like some state of the art thing that knows what thing it needs and
They
grabs it
like
and brings
send
it
you
out. Like,
send you a code and you scan your code at the thing and it like
Right.
vends your package.
And haven't they done drone deliveries too?
They've done drone
yeah.
deliveries. They have something called
It's-
Prime Now where you like order groceries and they come within 2
you know
hours.
how decadent all of this really is. Like it's just
it's
the next
like an
natural
80s movie about the future.
Yeah, but it is really just the next natural step in convenience and stuff like that. However, like what we always talk about, just because we can do something, does that mean we should technologically or in these ways? Like, how much is that really adding to anyone's life? Like, hey, you don't have to drive 5 minutes now.
You know
what I mean? You don't
Well,
have to
when it-
walk
But
down
the
the street.
when you're
goal-
in an overpopulated area, maybe.
And the goal of shipping since the
Please say overcrowded instead of overpopulated. It's misleading.
Okay.
The goal of the shipping industry since it's been creative is to do it faster and better. It's just the natural.
No, I know that's what I'm saying.
progression.
I know,
mean, there's
but
just no way.
as consumers, I don't know. To me, just sometimes it's like,
Our standards are just going to change. Think of the difference now. It used to take at least 2 days to send somebody a letter, and then there was email, and now you have the expectation that you can communicate with anyone, anywhere within 1 day.
1 second.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that seems very normal to me.
And we did get used to it so fast.
Yeah.
Remember now smartphones have been around now for a while, but when it was only like a year or two into it, it already seemed like, how the fuck did we ever not have these? What,
Right.
This is insane to think that a couple years ago you could get lost. You can't get lost anymore.
Exactly.
Who the fuck has been lost in the past 5-10 years? Like, you know what I mean? You remember getting lost?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the
Vaguely.
on the other side, though, I know people my age that just don't know how to drive if the maps stop working they're on the highway. They're like, I'll just
Sure.
Yeah.
go to
They
Indiana.
just start spinning the wheel around all wildly and crash into the median.
You know what the other thing
Well,
about
that won't be a problem really soon either because
We're
you're
getting
gonna have
self-driving cars.
Yeah, I mean that's right around the corner.
Yeah.
they were already
on my watch.
doing that years ago.
Yeah,
That's been
and
around.
now they're really, really, really good.
I've been hearing that now is the time to invest in alcohol companies and freight companies because the trucks that do freight stuff are going to be self-driving soon, and people will be able to drink more because they won't have to drive themselves home.
So, yeah, I wonder what's the deal with that is going to be. Can you get into your self-driving car drunk? Probably not, I bet.
Well, at the moment,
You
no.
just can't turn on the manual mode.
They've made cars that don't even have manual controls. You get in and you're just like in a pod, and it's just a chair, and you have a window in front of you, and you can't even. There's nothing to hold on to. You can't even drive it yourself if you want
So
to.
yeah, why don't they just put like a mannequin there, and then that's your driver, and then you can get drunk and
Why does there have to be? Why does there have to be a mannequin?
just so everyone understands that the robot has got it under control.
It just comes with like the autopilot
The illusion.
inflatable, like from Airplane.
Yeah.
It's just built in.
Well, we got to get people into it somehow. I don't know. I
I
hate.
think
I
people
hate
are
it.
going to be into it.
I don't. I'm not.
No?
Well, I like driving, but everyone else sucks at it.
Katie called me before. I was just calling her back. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's make her phone call. Then.
But
Hey, what's going on?
Are you on the show?
Oh, yeah, we're on the show. So are you.
Oh.
Oh, I think I know what's going on here. All right, I'll call you back, okay?
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Worst timing ever.
all right. Yeah, everyone else might be a terrible driver, but having a robot car removes all human error. So like any decision that takes you 0.75 seconds to make, the car's computer can make in 0.01 seconds,
Yeah,
and then
but
start avoiding an accident or
But it opens the door to human interaction with hacking. I don't want.
Not only that,
I don't
there's
want them to
computer
be-
error. Now the blue screen of death makes you
Yeah.
careen off the
And
fucking road and into outer space or something.
Yeah, computers do
The
crash.
car just starts compacting in, crushing. So what is this setting? Why do they even make?
Self-destruct.
Why is it even able to do this? Remember with the Vault 7 shit, we already found out that it's 100% true that they can hack into car computers now remotely.
Yeah.
Which you can't do a whole lot. I guess you could fuck somebody up and stick the accelerator and make them like they say happened to Paul Walker and whatever.
Yeah.
But
What?
yeah, that's the theory after the Vault 7 stuff is that Paul Walker was
Killed by a car hacker.
killed by a car hacker. Yeah.
Such a tragedy.
Because it didn't really make any sense. Apparently, he just like floored it down the street into a wall, basically.
Yeah.
And it did for no reason. It just was weird. So people are like, yeah, they could have taken control over his car. But imagine when it's self-driving cars. So right now, at least you've got some manual options. If somebody does that to you, you can use the brakes or the parking brake or kill the ignition or whatever. A self-driving car, they could easily hack into it and just do whatever, drive you straight to the police station.
Yeah, that's precisely it, because now your own car is, or whatever car you rent, because I'm sure it would more likely be kind of like a rental situation.
You think so?
Yeah, something like the CTA. You wouldn't need, because you wouldn't want to store a car. It would be the kind of thing where you have a car pass and a car comes and picks you up, similar to like an Uber.
So it's just an Uber with no driver.
Well, right.
The government
that would.
supplies
I
the
feel
Uber.
like that would make sense. Yeah.
The government will take care
you
of your car.
subscribe to cars. I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay.
What the fuck
They
was
have
I?
that
Where was
already.
I going with this? But yeah, now if you're trying to do anything illegal, that car suddenly becomes a police car,
Right.
and off you go. Yeah.
That could be where it leads. Yeah,
Totally.
Maybe you even just make a as this
tricks
progresses, you make a traffic infraction or something like that, and it's like okay,
You wouldn't make a traffic infraction.
Oh
You're
yeah,
not in
I guess you
control.
wouldn't. You're right.
Yeah, they.
You'd have to light up a doob.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an infraction.
You're just in a car with like a bunch of weed sensors everywhere. It's like, fuck.
Smoke detectors.
I warned all of you.
Oh yeah, 'cause
There's laser residue on your
But
sleeve.
Is there going to be a generation like right now? I can't imagine most people I know trusting one of these or not wanting to drive. A lot of people like to drive, work on cars, and all that shit. Is there going to eventually be people that don't give a fuck about any of that? And they're like, no, why would I fucking do that? This thing will just do it. It'll just.
Yeah.
maybe.
I ride the train, and I do appreciate the opportunity to get stuff done, and yeah, that's me. But I sometimes have to do work on the train, and it's nice to be able to do that instead of have to focus on the road.
Oh, sure, it's great. You can drink on the train too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You've been taking advantage of that at all?
No.
boo.
No.
Oh no, not me.
Actually, you guys have probably drank more this week than you.
I
have in-
certainly have.
No, that's not
You
true.
can listen to the last show we did for evidence.
That's right. Yeah, Andrea was very aggressive.
I drank a whole bottle of rum.
That's true. It's pretty.
A lot for me.
Pretty good, yeah. But so, do you think that's what I'm thinking? Is like, when would that? How would it happen? I feel like cars are such a tradition for so many people that are so into it, and like,
Yeah.
I can't picture the switch ever totally happening where there's no more manual drive cars.
Not for a long time, but like
1,000
Also,
years it would
like-
have to be.
Like the
But-
transition.
No.
I already don't trust. I don't trust other drivers on the road. Like I'm weary.
That's very
of
good. You should
everyone.
be a defensive driver. That's good.
That's
good job.
Yeah, rule 1.
Good safe boy.
But when we switch to robot cars, I'm not gonna fucking trust them either. Like one's merging in. How do you
Oh, yeah.
know?
they're so
it's-
sophisticated.
that's
Yeah,
what
it is.
I think most people who live in this
Already, they're so sophisticated.
But most people like us, we just can't trust it for whatever reason. It just will never seem okay to us. But
Could you imagine like the way they have a carpool lane on the highway where it's on the highway but it's completely separate from the rest of the traffic? If they were able to make like an automated car lane where all of the cars can just
Right.
like fly at a super high speed all
Right. And
at the same speed so that they don't risk running into each other and you like commute faster.
I don't understand why cable car technology was stunted. So I feel like
Cable car is great.
Like how complicated would it really be? Right now we've got a city the size of Chicago. You see how fucking packed the trains get and how fucking clogged the highways are.
It's terrible.
Every day. And why? Like how fucking hard would it really be to have 3 trains on top of each other on cables, you know what I mean? And get some more fucking traffic moving and get things we don't do anything right. Like the highway should really be, if we're going to have this thing and they're going to spend as much money on it as they do, there should be some more orderly kind of system to the highway where what if it was a conveyor belt thing and you get into the on-ramp and you get into your space and you shut your car off and it takes you into the city.
Totally.
Or a slingshot.
Slingshots, yeah.
Just shoots you to your destination.
Oh, I thought you meant you play with a slingshot while you're riding on the conveyor belt.
No.
That too.
Your car goes into a station. You set your coordinates. You get shot. Parachute opens and you land directly.
Something. It just
you should start every day with a shot of adrenaline.
It just seems like we advance in the weirdest ways and the laziest ways, stuff like Amazon really is the appeal because, it is cool for people in the middle of nowhere. They can get whatever they want. But for most of us, really the appeal is pure laziness.
Yeah,
it's just
only convenience.
I don't want to roll my fat ass down the stairs and drive to the store. That's really what it's all about. But then ways that matter so much more, like transportation. We've been using the same shit for 100 years.
Right.
Look
at our trains.
Yeah.
Other countries have fucking bullet trains that go 300 miles an hour, and ours are just all clunk, 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 clunk.
And then you go over the bridge, all the bridges on the way into the city. You really feel like that's not safe at all.
No.
It's fine, but the way it rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you.
Yeah, dude, it's weird.
Yeah.
You go over these little bridges over rivers and stuff, and you look at them. They're like, that thing is from 1875. Why are we driving a train on it?
It's weird.
The fuck?
No, a nice train, other countries' trains, they're so much better than ours.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Chicago's got this.
Is that at the end of your sentence? Okay. So there was another weird coincidence with the Civil War, as I recall.
Okay.
Which was a little something called the Texas shooting.
Oh, damn.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. I don't know what the official tragedy name for this one is. Sutherland Baptist Church shooting.
Dude, I've been...
Rural Texas shooting.
I've been moving all week and shit. I don't know anything about it.
No. It's... amazing how uninterested I was in this one. Am I alone in that? I just feel like whatever they're doing is working. I'm desensitized. I don't care.
Yeah. I don't know. I still didn't process I never got around to caring about the Las Vegas thing. So I was just another one. Boy, I can't keep up with
I'm
this
falling
shit.
behind in my shootings.
I only did because that one was so weird, but this one was just cut and dry. Ugh.
And it's just it sparks just the same fucking boring conversations about gun control and everything, and I just think it's for the birds. God, this apartment building is weird.
Yeah.
But it did coincidentally fall on one of the days referenced in the beginning of our new Civil War.
Yeah.
Right.
And they tried to do something with that too. Oh, he was a liberal or whatever. You know what, dude? It's not, everybody's going to be something.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that that's why they fucking shot a church up,
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard, is there a motive? Has anything been established?
Well, he was a
motive?
hardcore atheist.
I heard that too, but was this a hate attack on Christians because they were Christian, or?
Probably, but the thing is, there's always two choices. It's either a nutcase whose brain is so weird that it kind of doesn't really matter what they think, they just whatever. Or it's some other conspiracy thing. I haven't seen anything about that with this one. Have you?
No, I haven't heard of any yet.
One unique thing about this that I think people are going to talk about when they're trying to make their points is the shooter was dishonorably discharged from the military, and his infraction that earned him his discharge should have disqualified him from purchasing a gun legally. However, he was never added to the database that they check in however he was buying his gun. And they shouldn't have sold it to him if the proper procedures had been followed. And he got his guns legally, but technically it was illegally.
Yeah, I don't know. If you ask me,
so I feel like people can say, "Look, we need to be more thorough. We need to do better checks. We need to make sure everything's going the right way when people are getting their guns." Like, this is an easy thing to point at and say, "Hey, like, here's an obvious fuck up in the system, and it needs to be tightened."
Yeah. Same with the amount of guns at the Vegas shooting. Like, oh, maybe we should look at how many guns you can buy, and
sure,
it's just all.
I don't know. I think it's okay to collect guns.
I do too.
I have more guitars than I can play at one time.
Yeah.
Can you play one guitar?
I could play one at a time. Yeah.
You can?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that about you.
You don't really know me.
I kind of more know you through our other sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of weird when we're like alone and we have to make conversation.
Yeah,
it's just like,
fun.
we don't really
it's awkward.
have anything to talk about. Yeah.
I kind of think it's a valid argument to say we have a law right now, but it kind of slipped through the cracks on this one. Like, my understanding was that he lied on his application. But was it more that there was some kind of clerical error in putting his name in a system?
It must have been a combination of both.
I think that that's a valid concern. I wouldn't say that this is an example where you could say, oh, we need harsher gun laws. But, like, yeah, I mean, if the guy...
to be fair, we would never say that
right.
about anything, really.
No.
Well, I know not us.
Yeah.
But, I think that it's a good argument.
Do police officers and
Yeah.
members of the military go through the same checks that they expect regular citizens to go through before they're given firearms?
I mean, it's state to state, it's different, I think, but there's there's some psychological testing sometimes. I don't think they test for the things that we really want them to.
Right.
Like,
well, I saw someone try to pose the argument of if you want to disarm the citizens, you have to also disarm the police and the military. And in a lot of ways, I think that's like the only way it's fair to do it. Right?
Well,
like,
yeah, but then we're
you...
just a giant vulnerable blob.
Right. So how do you get around it so that the military has weapons, but the police aren't more armed than the citizens? Because that would be my main concern, I think.
Is less the military, more the police?
Yeah, I don't understand why a cop who is probably a psycho, which is why he wanted to be a cop, gets to have an assault rifle, but I don't.
Yeah, you're right. That's bullshit.
So
I think you both should be able to have one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, if anybody gets to have one, everybody gets to have one.
Yeah, who's more likely to be violent statistically? Yeah.
Not me.
Right.
And if we're gonna,
I don't want to
taxes,
shoot anybody,
you
but I
should get
fucking
a free
will.
gun. I think there should be free guns for everyone.
Yeah, if we're gonna pay this much in taxes, give us some goddamn firepower.
Yeah,
we know that's what you're
exactly.
spending it on.
Right. You make enough
Share the
money
wealth.
off it.
All right, back on the trail of this civil war that just never happens. It just keeps talking about it. The Earthling, my old co-host, is on the phone. What's up, dude?
Great.
Hello. Oh, I can't hear him. What the fuck
me
is this?
neither.
We can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, your phone just sounds terrible.
Hold on a second.
Okay. What is that? How is he even doing
that's
that?
weird.
Flip phone.
No, I think he's trying to use some
I'm
kind of.
in my bomb shelter, so hold on.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a minute.
Oh, good. All right.
So it's what is anything ever going to come of this civil war? Is my thought on it since the beginning is that it's kind of impossible to have a civil war with like 250 sides.
Right.
Nobody is unified here.
I was
going to
say, like, who is the Civil War supposed to be?
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Like just a 250-way civil war. That would actually not be so bad.
I was fine with it being Antifa versus like neo-Nazis. They can kill each other all the fucking day, all day long. I don't give a shit about any of them. Like,
we really should have just let them keep fighting.
It should have, yeah. But the problem was, I spotted it immediately. The left and the right media started to pushed the idea that you had to side with one of these things.
Right.
And with the neo-Nazis, it was like freedom of speech. You don't have to defend what they say, but their right to say it and blah, blah, blah. And then with the Antifa, it's like, well, Democrats are retarded, so just do this.
Yeah.
Because everything else you do is fucking retarded anyways. So just, but you know what I mean? They tried to mainstream those two things. Didn't really work because, thank God, all the shit that they have going against us sometimes works against them. And the fact that they have turned people into just kind of mindless, goldfish with no real memory or attention span.
Yeah.
That works in our favor sometimes now
Right.
because everyone forgot about the Nazis. You know what? We never talked about this on the show. We weren't doing the show when this all happened.
That's true.
The week that there were Nazis was one of the most hilarious weeks of all time, and everyone forgot.
Yeah, it's over now.
Yeah, it's done.
Just like the bathroom debate.
That fucking girl that got ran over. What's her name? Anybody remember?
Yeah.
Which one?
In the Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't remember.
No, who knows?
Who knows? What was
You'll see the words both sides in quotation marks here and there, but
Right.
that's about the only callback to that shit.
Yeah, that did not work. We all just kind of just threw that story out.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, yeah.
Bye.
Give me something else. Come on.
Something fresh.
All right, let's see if we got the Earthling. What's up? Hello. Earth. Huh?
What's up?
Oh,
You hear
okay.
me?
Yeah, now we got you.
Nice.
So what's going on? Oh, you think the Civil War is ever going to happen?
Civil War.
Right.
What?
Okay.
This has been
That
great.
makes
Thanks
sense.
for calling.
Huh?
No, that's not gonna happen.
What's happening? Right.
Plus, Vegas is totally weird. There was some broad on the left side of the stage on the bleachers that stayed during the whole thing, and she's like, "Where's all the dead people?" And the whole field was clear, and there was no dead bodies.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
We didn't see that yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's just like sitting there, like, "Where are all the dead people at?" And
Oh no! Yeah, I did see that one. Her and her boyfriend are talking, and he's like, "We should get out of here." And she's like, "I think this is some kind of movie or something." Or she's like, "I don't know what's going on here, but this isn't real." And she's in the middle of it.
Yeah.
She's just filming, going, "I'm not buying this. This is." She's
Whoa.
like, "It doesn't sound real."
she's like super high. She's like stage left, super high up on the bleachers, and
Right.
didn't budge.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Where are all the dead people?" And there was nobody.
And she keeps going, "I don't see any blood. I don't see any." Because she was thinking it was some kind of prank, and she didn't want to be had. She was like, "Nah, I'm not buying this.
I gotta hear this because
isn't
like
real."
that could have just been
You
shot.
can't even open those windows. You can't even open those windows in those hotels, dude.
It could have been shock, but also she was going through it logically. She was saying, "Look, there's no one hurt. There's nothing with blood." I have a hard time believing that it was a complete hoax. I know
George Soros.
Yeah.
It was a flash mob.
I know for a fact. I know.
Of course it could be.
I don't know about the full-on hoax, but
You get 100 people. You put 100 people in the crowd, and you get the 100 people to say, "Everybody run! Everybody run!" And the 100 people stay, and they pretend like they're fucking getting
If I'm
shot.
in a crowd and I hear
super
someone
easy.
advising me to run, I'm gonna run.
I know
That's
it's.
an easy
I
way
know.
to
No.
incite
I
panic.
get that it's possible, and we kind of went over this a few episodes ago, and I get that it's possible. I just don't see why it's desirable for someone who's orchestrating it. Why wouldn't they just kill a bunch of people? They don't give a shit,
Yeah.
I don't know, unless that's a lot harder to do than I think, which could be true.
I don't think people are that crazy. I mean, think about it, man. You got an assault rifle. You're like, oh shit, how am I going to kill these fucking 30,000 people chilling up in this crowd? They said 30,000. It looked like 2,000 to me, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it didn't look because like a big
I've been to
sports
plenty of
stadium is like
concerts,
30,000 people.
5,000 max. 5,000 people max, and they're talking about 30,000
weird.
people. I've been to many festivals.
Okay.
Anyway, so if I had an assault rifle and I had a bunch of clips, I'd be like, you know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to go fucking jack a semi-truck driver, go jackknife that up on the front stage to kill about 100 billion people.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
super easy.
I know.
That's a different psychotic plan.
Interesting
but...
perspective.
These guys are horrible killers. Even if they were real events, they're horrible at it.
Well, yeah.
Hey, truck driver, shoot one dude in the dome, drive that shit straight from the back up to the fucking stage, jackknife it, and kill everybody.
No, we get it. Yeah.
If you're gonna premeditate a murder, a mass murder, Why are you gonna be stupid about it? At least be effective.
You know what it is? It is such like a cockamamie plan. Like I'll be like 1,000 feet away. Well, because it was really far away from where he was shooting the people. That's why I say that. Like it is a weird plan. Like to
Well, here's the thing. Do you know any? Yeah, I know what you mean. But do you know anybody who got shot there, or know anybody who knew anybody who knew anybody?
I know a girl who was
man.
in Vegas when it happened.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I know a guy who was in Vegas when it happened. Oh my god, I can't believe that happened 2 blocks away from me.
Whoa.
I don't care. I don't know anybody got shot. You know anybody got shot? I don't know anybody got shot.
And now the thing is going around with the all the people saying that there were multiple shooters are going missing, and we haven't looked into that. I know a couple of the ones that people are counting weren't there and had nothing to do with the Vegas. Like people are kind of making shit up at the same time about the shooting. You know, the one girl who died in bed was real. You know, but
well, remember this. We used to talk about this all the time. So they did the bailout. They're like, should these CEOs get bonuses? Not should we have a bailout? So they're like, was there one shooter or two? Not did that shit happen at all? It surpasses the fact that it solidifies that it occurred. And then you argue about something else. It's super easy.
yeah, no,
We do this all the time.
I understand what you're saying. Are you really leaning towards the hoax?
The hoax that it didn't happen at all.
Yeah, no, I'm more. I don't know. I really don't know, but I know for a fact that whatever happened, it was something high level, secretive. There was a conspiracy element to this one. I'm pretty positive of it. You know,
I'm pretty convinced of that too.
We went over all the stuff about the rapid scan
Everybody's
shit.
like moving in with their moms and shit, moving in with their friends. Everybody's broke. Nobody gives a shit about killing people, man.
Yeah, well,
It's all
no,
fucking BS.
it is funny. Now you have all this stuff happening. You know, we used to talk about a few years ago, me and my old pal, the Earthling here, we used to talk about how everybody freaks out about mass shootings, but that's such a low percentage of the actual gun crime. And also they're steadily have gone down since the 70s, which a lot of people didn't know. But now I'm starting to wonder. I got to look into the statistics again, because like to me, I don't even know if this is just maybe they got to me the way that they're trying to trick you into thinking these are happening all the time. Even me after this Texas one, I was like, man, this does seem like a lot of these. Like, you know, it doesn't seem like they used to happen this close together usually.
Even like the hurricanes too. It was like,
well, and don't forget there was
that was HARP.
There was that guy a week ago who mowed down all the bicyclists.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that already. That's right.
With the toy guns.
You know why they didn't? You know why you forgot about that? Because that guy was Muslim, wasn't he?
He was.
And yeah. So they didn't want to make a big deal out of that one.
Yeah.
Chirp, chirp.
Bicyclists are assholes.
Yeah. Whose side are you on? Muslims or bicyclists?
Muslims.
Are you really? That's amazing. You must really hate bicyclists, because I know.
When I was delivering organs, I was trying to go to the hospital with a fucking organ, and they were doing like their quadrillion man fucking we're not going to stop for the red light thing.
Oh,
and they started punching my car and shit, dude. Yeah.
While you were the Earthling used to deliver live organs.
Why
yeah,
would
I was
anyone
like, dude,
trust you with
I
that
have
job?
an organ. I have organs. I need to go to the hospital. You need. And I just
I
like
gotta
went
get these
through
put
them
back
like a mile.
And the fucking bicyclist wouldn't let you through?
No, I just went like a half a mile an hour right through their whole. There was like 200,000 of these fucking fools.
And you can't
and
exactly.
They started punching my windows and shit.
Yeah.
200,000.
I got it. Somebody's dying in a hospital. I'm sorry that you like to pedal your stupid fucking bike.
Oh, it wasn't
Somebody's
black
dying.
market. This was a legit organ. You had the
he
truck
worked for
with everything.
You didn't
I
drive
used to deliver
into.
organs to hospitals from the Gift of Hope.
You didn't drive into some like major sporting event though, did you? Like,
No, but
there weren't like cameras around. Or...
The weird part was they gave me an organ and I had no supervision, and I just like threw it on top of, like on my dash, like on my passenger
I
side
left it
floor,
on top of the
on a
car and
pile
drove
of-
away.
Like on a pile of McDonald's bags and shit.
But it was in
and they're like, they're like,
it's in like a cooler and
You're
shit,
sick?
right?
it's in like a cooler, but it's in like a cooler.
Because the way he said it, you just pictured like a liver just hanging on his dashboard.
Yeah.
It's like
no.
like, it's like dripping
It's
blood.
sealed
He's
and
like
taped
juggling
in
it
a fucking
around
box,
and stuff.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
But the thing is this, and after that, they're like, "Oh, you're sick? Go to the hospital." I'm like, "Fuck no." They gave me organs. I'm not going anywhere. I don't trust anybody.
Oh yeah, right. Like the fact that you were certified to hold people, like, because you could have been taking the organs out and playing with them, fucking around with them.
They don't know what they're doing.
Huh?
Enjoy that liver. I did. I don't know.
Yeah. What were you telling me earlier about something with Antifa?
Oh, well, there was like supposedly an Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and Nambla like collective effort to like protest. But I was looking it up, and they're saying it's kind of fake now, or that was fake, but it seems legit. Paul Joseph did a fucking video on it, and it's like no pedo bashing.
No pedo bashing.
No pedo
Yeah,
bashing.
I saw that picture
And then I went
too.
I went to Nambla.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, their
you
whole
mean
premise is like,
you mean you opened up your favorites?
Went to one.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I had to go to this weird site. Like, oh, sure.
I didn't know there was an event where I did not get invited.
You logged into your Nambla account.
I hit N and it just popped up.
Right.
I write the fictional stories about Man Boy Love.
Do they have those?
So I went there. Yeah,
Man Boy Love.
And I went there.
Is that legal?
It's the North American Association for Man Boy Love.
Yeah, we know what Nambla is.
We don't do. Here's their statement. We don't do nothing illegal. We just lobby the government to make it legal to fuck little boys.
Right.
That's what
their
their
whole
motto
thing.
is?
That's what Nambla is. Yeah.
I know. I just figured they might be a little more succinct.
And so they're a lobbyist group that lobbies the government to try to fuck children.
Right.
And on their website, they're like saying how children are victims because their freedoms are being stripped away because they're not allowed to suck 40-year-old dicks.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't.
And
Those
there's
laws
like
are
stories
treading
and
on
stuff, and there's even stories about on there. They have like stories about. Well, I took home a 14-year-old boy and he robbed me, so I'm the victim. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, he's trying to make it like this real street savvy little
That's how they do
youngster
it.
sucked my dick and fucking stole my TV. The fuck?
Well, that is pretty sneaky.
Yeah, he stole my TV. Like, no, so these guys are literally like standing upright, like proud to like try to lobby to fuck.
Well, and they're getting like, remember
They must really like.
they started
little
taking
boys.
steps to classify pedophilia as like a mental disorder instead of like a deviant
We've seen
sexual
that,
criminal activity.
We've seen that the past 5 years. There's a lot of like professors who have said, look, we have to stop treating this as though it's
it needs to be treated as a disease.
It's not a crime. It's a disease,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
and I've seen a lot of people speaking out in articles saying like, look, there's a difference between pedophiles and people who actually do it. We just think about it.
That's actually not a difference. The definition of pedophilia is to have the thoughts.
Yeah, no, he's just saying we're not predators.
No, there's definitely a difference.
No, there's
definitely a
people.
difference.
I've seen articles.
I
though,
think
of
about
people
doing
saying
stuff
this.
all the time. Like when I'm at work. if
Yeah,
somebody
don't you
comes in
remember
and
when
stuff-
a caller called the show and accused you of pedophiling him in a chat room?
Oh yeah.
So
That was
yeah.
Cunt Boy.
Yeah,
Cunt Boy.
The 8chan fucking cunts. Yeah.
I may have done that. I don't know.
So anyway, back to this Nambla sign. It according to the Daily Beast, it is a fake.
Oh, okay.
And it was
That's what I
printed
heard
to
as
frame
well.
the protesters
But
as
nonetheless, Nambla is completely real.
well, yeah, Nambla is real. Nobody is.
This was a false
Oh my
flag.
god! All right, I'm on the Nambla website right now, against my
The
better
FBI
judgment.
is coming.
and look at. Can you guys see this over there, David Box?
Oh
Can you
my
show?
god, yeah.
Look at the picture on the front page. Yeah, just go to nambla.org. Huh?
What the
Go to like
fuck?
poetry or art. It's on the left side. It's like poetry or art. It's like a little boy.
I don't want
Don't.
that.
This is very questionable.
But so
Very
I don't
creepy.
think.
Yeah, this picture.
What's
well,
going on the left, where we can't see? What have they cropped out?
Right. Well, somebody described the picture too.
So it's
a man and a boy.
A man in his 30s laying down with a boy who's probably 12.
No,
What do you say?
Nine.
9.
Yeah.
9?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And they are pressing their hands together in a weird
Yes.
romantic way. The 30-year-old man
I really hope-
kind
I
of
really-
has his jizz face on. His eyes are
His
closed.
jizz face.
Yeah.
I really hope that
it's very
9-year-old doesn't steal that
suggestive.
guy's
It's
VCR.
Yeah.
It's very, very suggestive.
That's what I'm worried about.
What it says is romance.
It is.
Yeah.
It makes it look. Yeah. It's almost like it would be an ad for like a bed and breakfast or something, or like a with a man and a woman usually, and like
Yeah.
a sunset or something. You
But
know.
instead, it's just a ripe little boy.
North American.
And then like in their statements and shit, if you look on the right side, when you go through like who are we, it's like, well, since Greek times, it was perfectly normal to rape children, and this is not cool and
That's
not
true.
anymore.
Is that true, or was that just written in history
Yeah,
so
I
we
guess
think
it's
that?
true.
I
but
mean,
is it true?
Also back then, well, back then, Socrates and all that shit, they
Socrates.
used to fucking shit out of children. Yeah.
You never
They-
know if
that
it's
guy
real or
liked
not,
it.
too.
It was an honor.
The 1960s.
The only reason he got
Wait, sorry. This is what
sorry,
I
was
would
to say the only reason he got off his soapbox is so he can reach that booty.
Okay. No, yeah, it was common in a lot of societies. I mean, it's and this one and many still. I mean, it's for whatever reason people have not been able to get enough little boy ass in this world. Like it's
Yeah.
just always.
What the
And
thing
we
is, why do you
covered-
want poo poo? Why do you want poo on your wiener?
I
Why do you
know.
want poo on your
Well,
wiener?
we just covered,
Why don't you just slam veg, right?
Vinny, we covered
fuck?
that thing in France where they said that there was a consensual relationship between the 11-year-old girl and the 30-year-old man.
Oh, sure,
it's,
yeah.
it's a mentorship
about that.
thing. You know, it's a rite of passage.
Wait, so this is I went to the section called the criminalization of youth on the Nambla site.
All right.
I read that too.
The 1960s saw the blooming of a new and democratic concept of children, youth, and the family. Children's natural spontaneity and joyful exuberance, their pursuit of discovery and experiment, all were seen as vitally important social activities. Children are not simply our beneficiaries, they are our benefactors as well. Ever since this transformative period, forces of reaction have been working to sow seeds of anxiety about the freedoms widely considered necessary to healthy, functioning society. Where the hell are they going with this? Small children? Okay. In the 1980s, they have been promoting notions such as the juvenile sex offender and the teenage super predator. Notions of sex as inherently violent and dangerous, although it's usually the opposite, played heavily in the campaigns targeting youth. Small children have been charged for sex crimes for what amounts to playing doctor with their peers. See, this is kind of true what they're saying, but then you can't take that and go, therefore, I'm allowed to fuck kids. They're trying
No.
It's a little sleight of hand they're
It's a group
attempting.
of like 40 to 50-year-old men who are like, these children deserve the right to have sex with my wiener.
Right, exactly. That makes it 10 times creepier. It's like you're really depriving the children here.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
This is what society needs.
How are
What's your argument for trying to have sex with that young boy? Well, I mean, it's not right to him to not have my wiener. It's not right. You're depriving him of this my magic wiener.
These kids are clamoring for my cock.
Yeah, just listen to them out
Look
there.
at their sad little
oppressive-
faces.
You're an oppressive government. You're an oppressive dictatorship that won't let him be raped by me.
Right. Many states have built institutions to warehouse teen sex offenders. Programs at these institutions typically indoctrinate the youth to hate and fear their own sexuality, breaking their personalities down to a point approaching total what is that word? Abrogation? I don't know what that is. The articles linked below chronicle the social travesty, blah, blah, blah. And then they've got a bunch of articles you can check out about, how children are deprived of their sexual rights. This is fucking... How is there not any... Like, I don't ever hear about doxing Nambla people and stuff. Everybody's worried about fucking white nationalists and whatever else.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck are you not out there doxing Nambla people?
Because it's like still not the trendy thing.
Right.
Anyone listening
We're just
wants-
moving past Nazis. Now we're on to Hollywood rapists.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll get there, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
people still don't want to talk about pedophilia.
Ew, I'm not clicking. All right, so here's the things you can click on this site. The criminalization of youth views and issues, the criminal injustice system, stories of man-boy love.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, I read a couple of them. And those
Okay.
are like fictional and non-fictional, and that's where I found where I'm a victim of man-boy love because this 14-year-old stole my TV. All right.
Yeah.
No, that he's a victim of a robbery.
Right. Yeah.
And if you look on the left side, there's like poetry or art or something like that. And it's like a picture of a little boy like bent over in his undies, bro. And it's like fucking super creepy and disgusting.
Yeah, I really don't even.
I didn't even want to go. I didn't even want to go to that. I went there.
Should do that on your computer. It just seems.
I don't know what any you're talking about because I can't see Vinny's computer and I'm not on Nambla.com.
Prank caller.
Yeah. Who is this?
What else? Social and biological sciences, psychology, blah blah blah. Personal experience. That's the creepiest one, I guess. Then they have music and poetry, film and television.
Music.
Okay, we'll click on the music.
Yeah.
How about that?
How bad could that be?
Yeah. Many cultural.
I wanna suck your young ass wiener.
Oh, God.
I was hoping it would be. Wait, okay.
Like a mix?
Hey, I was hoping there would be like that, like Nambla members had written songs that we could listen to.
Yeah.
That I would do.
Is that not the case?
That is not the case. What is this? Boy choir?
Yeah, that's never the case. It's never the case.
Yeah, I guess they are selling some CDs here.
What's the
Oh my God!
the bees of Nambla?
What are the bands?
Boy choir and boy singers CDs. I guess it's just they're linking you up with the boy, like sexy young boys.
That's one of the creepiest things about this too. I think is that they're boys.
Yeah, well,
You could fudge it and say young men or
right. Or even, but like, what's wrong with underage girls? You know, you have to be gay to be a pedophile.
That's the weirdest part about pedophilia. Like when I first started learning about it, I was like, wait a minute, these guys don't want to have sex with little girls?
Right. Yeah.
Like what?
They're crazy.
I mean, you know what I mean. I know that sounded bad, but it's like, wait a minute. So there's pedophilia is running rampant. And it's men trying to have sex with little boys, not little girls.
Wait, all right, so this says...
I would think that if you were an old weirdo and wanted to fuck children, you'd fuck little girls. That's what I would think.
Well, yeah, but you're looking at it from the perspective of a supposedly straight person. So
regular pedophile.
He didn't catch that one. From the perspective of a regular pedophile, right?
Yeah.
What the hell, man? Time was, you not have to be a faggot to be a pedophile. You know,
Yeah.
People have really taken it too far.
Yeah, times have changed. Pedophiling used to be a lot simpler.
Yes, it was. It was just simpler times in general, young Alex. It was how it was back when I was a youth. Anyways,
a boy.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about this. They were still fucking all the girls.
Yeah.
Anyways, Earthling, we got to take a break. We got to get out of here. So, do you want to? Should we keep him? Should we keep him hanging out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell.
I got something to talkify about.
Okay,
right, we'll be back.
We'll hang out. We like hanging out with the Earthling once in a while. So yeah, be back in a few minutes on the Overdose. No music because I have none ready.
All right.
Break time.
All right.
Break now.
Wait, hold on. I have some music.
Wait.
Let's all wait for Deebs to play some music.
Okay.
Hey, can we go out? Can you go out to one of the Nambla songs?
There are no.
That's what I
Nambla
was trying to do. I got some speeches.
All right, listen. We'll be back in a minute on the Overdose. Terrible. All right, we're back on the Overdose. I guess David Box is coming back, and the Earthling is gone. He just hung up during the break, so whatever. Good to hear from him.
He made a decision and he stuck with it.
Yeah. The pedophilia, man, it is everywhere. It is all over.
It really
the pedophilia man.
The pedophilia man is coming to town.
It's true. It's all the time, everywhere, and people still won't talk about it. I had to convince people recently that Corey Feldman was not just an insane person.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are still falling for this idea. This has been our whole lifetime. You know, like certain people in entertainment or whatever would come out saying stuff that sounds weird, and people would go, "Oh, well, they've gone insane." That's Corey Feldman's been at this for.
That poor boy took so many drugs.
Yeah, and he might be. You know, if you hear him interviewed, he doesn't sound stable, but he.
Yeah, but you know what? He
Why
endured
would
a
he
bunch of
be?
abuse throughout all of his childhood.
That's what he says.
He's
Yeah.
being gang stalked.
Yeah, he could. It could also be that.
Have you heard about the black van attacks?
What do you mean?
He said he's twice black vans have tried to ram him off the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like freaked out and.
Yeah, well, he supposedly wants to put together a documentary about the naming names and doing all this stuff.
Yeah, I think he went on the Today Show to.
He was on Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz, okay.
Also.
Yeah. He wants to put out this big documentary kind of exposing in a very specific way the abusers in Hollywood and things like that, which obviously he was a child star. I'm sure horrific things happened to him, and
I just don't see how they couldn't have.
Yeah, he's got the classic profile of someone who's endured a lot of abuse, psychologically. It's a textbook case, and so, he wants to put together this documentary, but he wants to get $10 million to do it. And so far, Deeb's just walked in. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, that Zoom thing froze, by the way. Whatever it does. So
he needs $10 million to tell his story.
Which is the weird part to me. It almost seems like he probably, you would think that a guy like this probably has some money, I don't know how much.
I don't know about that.
He was such a pariah for so long that you don't know. But I don't know if he wants $10 million to produce the thing, which that would be fucking ridiculous, right?
No, he needs security and lawyers because the people are all going to sue him. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's
or
where the
try
money's
to attack
going.
him or silence him.
Or
security and lawyers.
Classically, like me and the Earthling used to talk about this years ago, the first project we did. We really didn't even want to touch pedophilia stuff because that's when you get killed. Like people...
Right.
There's a long list of people, if you ever look into the Franklin cover-up, right there is one fucking pedophile ring that, there's 15, 20 people that died trying to expose it.
Yeah.
Plane crashes, car accidents.
Yeah, real normal
suicides,
stuff.
All that shit.
Yeah.
So, it could be just that. I need $10 million to have a chance at staying alive if I do this,
Yeah, and I mean, if he has experienced what he claims to have experienced, then he probably has a lot of information that is very harmful to a lot of people, and not just the people who directly abused him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is cool that this stuff is all getting into the mainstream finally, sort of. It's still so uncomfortable that most people aren't going to really want to talk about it, but you also see like there's this kind of muddying of the waters that goes on with like as this stuff is all coming out, they're pushing stories like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey and all this kind of like fringe stuff where like Kevin Spacey, it doesn't sound like he's like part of some evil pedophile ring. It sounds like he's a fucking kind of an asshole
and maybe like confused about his sexuality and abused.
He could have been abused,
drugs.
But he also could have been abused himself, whatever. But it doesn't sound like what I mean is like he's going after teenagers. Yeah, it's creepy, inappropriate. It's not locking an 8-year-old in a dungeon, though.
No.
Right.
Yeah. But so they're pushing all this like fringe elements of the dark sort of like sexual culture in the country, but still not really giving the fucking documented pedophilia problem real credence,
Yeah.
What let's see.
Corey Feldman recently sat down with the LAPD and filed official reports that they are supposedly investigating his claims of what he knew about a pedophile ring. So he has like put legal wheels in motion. He also says that he tried to do this in 1993 and nobody even wrote anything down.
Wow.
And there was no record of it having happened.
Remember that Pizzagate gear guy who had the text altercation with James Alefantis? He went to the FBI and filed a report and everything, and I haven't even thought about that shit.
That guy's weird. I've kept up with his channel, Pizzagate Gear. He's terrible at making videos. They're really, really boring.
Does it seem like that was all a ploy just to sell T-shirts?
Not really, but who knows? I didn't really get that from it, but I don't know. Because remember, he gave all the money back. He was like, he terminated his T-shirt business and sent everybody their money back.
That's right.
So yeah, I don't really know. We thought that might be so that he hadn't made anything and couldn't be sued.
So Corey Feldman also named one of his abusers by name, which I don't really think you do unless you're sure you can prove that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. What was the name?
John Grissom, who was had worked with him on a movie called 80s and License to Drive. And he identified him as one of the men who molested him as a teenager.
And who was he?
His name is John Grissom.
No, I know, but what did he do?
I think it just says that he worked on those movies with him. I don't know if he was an actor or something else. It doesn't say.
Should we IMDb him?
Yeah.
Here, that's him. This is him.
Oh, Jesus.
Does he look like a pedophile?
Yeah, look up a picture.
Oh, God.
How do you spell it?
First name John, last name Grissom, like Mary Grissom.
Holy shit. The first picture that pops up on Google screams pedophile.
Yeah, definitely. This guy looks very creepy. And now, yeah, oh, wow. Boy, is he a fucking creep.
Oh, actor. Yeah, he was an actor.
I don't recognize him.
No, me neither. I don't think he had a very long-term career. But let's see. It does say that he's worked with some people who are famous now: Jeff Goldblum, Mark Ruffalo, Tom Hiddleston.
I would believe if someone,
Corey Haim.
if they said Jeff Goldblum was a pedophile, it just kind of seems like.
Yeah. What's that?
That's him laughing in the first Jurassic Park movie.
Do it again.
It's like there's a remix of that somewhere on the internet where they like put it to a beat. That's fantastic.
My favorite thing ever was the Jeff Goldblum ripoff in South Park. The guy who would just like connect things like trees have leaves. Wives leave their husbands. It just like make all these like non sequitur connections. Like, and also there was the Jeff Goldblum Man Group, which was a Tim and Eric sketch.
It's brilliant. I don't know why they haven't done that in real life.
I got some video of Corey Feldman. What is that audio that I hear?
I was trying to pull up some Jeff Goldblum laughing. Sorry.
Okay. Let's see this. Hold on.
I had a plan to try and hopefully bring to light what is happening in the world of entertainment as far as perverts and pedophiles. And I believe that I can also bring down, potentially, a pedophile ring that I've been aware of since I was a child. Right off the bat, I can name 6 names. One of them who is still very powerful today.
Hollywood is sweating.
I would guess that there's some connect. The time and the size and power of the network that he's describing, I would bet it's connected to the Franklin cover-up.
Or at least Harvey Weinstein.
No, see, Harvey Weinstein.
He's the distraction.
That's the story they want you to. It's like he's an old fucking drunk Hollywood guy is pressuring women to have sex with him.
He's a scumbag. He's a scumbag who's always been a scumbag. In his contract with the company, they had like certain money he would pay out each time he sexually harassed you.
Right.
It was just written.
They just knew he was a liability.
Gonna happen.
Yeah.
So he's just a distraction. They're covering up the pedophiles.
He's like a sacrificial lamb, or a sacrifice.
Pretty much, isn't that how it works usually?
I don't know.
He's a piece of shit lamb, but yeah.
Should we check out a little bit of this Dr. Oz appearance from Corey Feldman? You guys want to?
I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. I watched it while I was at work.
Would you recommend it?
And went crazy telling people that there are huge pedophile rings and no one will talk about it. And or Corey Feldman has been trying to get people to pay attention to it for literally about 15 years.
Yeah, like we've definitely made fun of Corey Feldman and his stupid music and all that shit.
Yeah, which was stupid, but
yeah, but it doesn't take away from what he's saying here.
Aaron is ready to expose Hollywood's pedophilia ring. So you've been under a lot of stress,
this is on TV.
a lot of pressure. How you keeping up?
Well, I'm okay. It's a lot. It's definitely more than I've ever been through. And, to be completely honest, I'm not sure I'm ready for it all.
Is he talking all weird? What is this weird video we're watching?
He's acting.
this thing just paused, or I don't know what the hell's going on with this.
This successful tour when all of the Harvey Weinstein stuff started to break, and I couldn't really understand why people were coming to me. And after constant barraging of demands of name names, what do you got to say, now's your time, this is your moment, all this kind of stuff, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to tour. And
nobody cares about your music.
I eventually decided to make a statement which basically just said, look, I'm very grateful that this is happening because I'm proud of the women that have come forward. I think it's the right thing to do. And
you see what I mean about just like tying these ideas together? Like, why is Harvey Weinstein even in the conversation? Like, we're talking about pedophile rings, not shit that 30% of guys everywhere do, which is use any angle they can to get a woman to sleep with them.
Right.
Like,
well, I don't know. I think that it's starting to just point a finger at the Hollywood culture overall, that like the way things work is that everybody rapes everybody, and when a child actor is popular, he probably got raped, and when a female actress is popular, she probably got raped, and when a male actor is popular, he probably knew about it.
I'm hearing it described as a game of Jenga, where you're like one actor or major person in the industry at a time. You're removing a piece, and like the whole thing becomes more precarious and collapses. People are saying like they don't even feel right going to see a movie anymore
because you know that somebody that involved in the movie is a pedophile.
You're just
or some
wondering
shit.
how many fucking cocks has been in that boy's mouth or ass at the same time,
right? Yeah, I bet you're doing a lot of calculations while you're sitting there. Let's see. He's about 3'8", 70 pounds. Is that too much for that height? I don't know. That sounds right to me. So,
all right.
How many could we get in there?
Thrust per minute.
Yeah. What could this boy survive? Let's check out a little bit more of this.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't know anything about Harvey Weinstein. I was not, in any way assaulted by him, obviously. This had nothing to do with him, and what happened to my best friend had nothing to do with him. So we really don't know anything about that. But I, of course, applaud the movement, and hopefully it'll bring more light to all of this sort of thing. And then it just went crazy. Then at that point, I said, you know what, I've got to come up with something. I've got to do something. I have been harassed, demeaned, diminished. My self-worth, my value as an artist, as a human, has been degraded. I've been literally abused over this in many ways.
I like how he's acting like if it wasn't for this, I would probably be a famous pop star right now.
Well, he might be a little closer to normal.
Yeah, but like, he's like, it diminished my value as an artist. Like,
No, it did.
You just didn't have any value as an artist to begin with.
Yeah, because the other kids got fucked and still were successful.
Right. Yes.
Well,
some very brilliant people out there.
Corey Haim sure was not successful after his abuse.
Yeah, it seems like a time bomb. Once people get into their late 20s, early 30s, for whatever reason, whatever happened to them, just they can't hold it in anymore. You saw it with like Britney Spears and whoever else, several other people.
Justin Bieber.
Look at his idol, Corey Feldman's idol, Michael Jackson. How fucking weird did he get?
Shia LaBeouf.
Michael Jackson must have been abused.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Is there a cat out in the hallway, or is he in the fucking? There's some cat meowing really loud. Can somebody see what the hell's going on?
I'll inspect it.
Yeah. But it's fucking cats.
So just
everywhere.
to kind of connect to this, I think a lot of people would like to believe that pedophilia in Hollywood maybe is kind of an antiquated idea, and people are coming out now, but like no one's being abused now. All this happened 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, he plays...
Which one is he?
He plays Mike. He's got the real dark brown curly hair.
He's got the hot sister.
He's got the hot sister.
I don't remember this.
He recently fired his agent because a different client of his agent accused him of sexually assaulting her.
Right.
And so this kid was like, I'm not doing that. He had this to say about it. This happened kind of during the Me Too hashtag that everybody was using to talk about their experience with some sort of sexual assault or abuse. He says, yesterday I posted my Me Too contribution, briefly sharing my experience with sexual assault at the hands of a man in a position of power in the entertainment industry. I didn't name names, just the company he worked for. People poured out of the woodwork in private message, aware of who I must be talking about. His reputation was enough. I didn't have to say his name.
Yeah.
So a current child star is able to identify so easily. Here's a person who everybody knows is doing this,
right?
And he still has his job, and even I am too afraid to say anything about it.
That's the thing with a lot of this stuff. Like Kevin Spacey, I knew Kevin Spacey was gay and into younger guys because he hung out in New Orleans all the time, and I would hear from like some of the bartenders and people that would see him and stuff, like, oh, Kevin Spacey hung out here. Oh, that's cool because, you know, he didn't know anything. He just seemed like a good actor, and we liked his movies and stuff.
You ever ask about you?
No.
Hey, he was asking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they would say, no, it sucks when he's here. He's an asshole, and all he does is fucking chase young boys around, you know, all the 19, 20-year-old kids and stuff, which is obviously not illegal. But so, you know, if I knew that...
That's kind of creepy.
But if I knew that... Imagine how many people I'm not anywhere near any gossip like that usually, you know, like,
right.
So imagine in Hollywood, everybody knew his thing.
Right. And he says that he has officially never commented on his sexuality, but right now he chooses to live as a gay man.
Sure.
That's
What?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Someone has a big announcement to make.
Yeah. Maybe next week I'll be a straight woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny how did that, because like there should have been any mention of like, oh, it's so brave or whatever. Like,
I don't know if anybody ever said it was brave. I think they said it seemed like an
diversion.
Obvious,
an obvious diversion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his publicist just was like, okay, we got one card to play.
We gotta do something.
Yeah, try to get some sympathy because you're gay. When is that going to be over too? When is it just going to be like, yeah, who cares? What the fuck?
Right.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
But
gives a shit.
Also, you're allowed to claim you're anything. You can be any race or gender or whatever you want. You can. So I was gay then and I'm gay now, and that's his defense.
But his whole thing was basically like kind of coming on too strong to like younger actors, but nobody has said that he raped anyone or anything like that, right?
Just like put them in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah, he was another. Yeah. He was Weinsteining them.
He was,
you know?
well,
right?
You might be crossing.
Minus the jizzing in a plant part, probably.
Weinstein was like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No, the story that came out on Kevin Spacey was he like tried to seduce a 14-year-old kid that was at his party, and then the kid was like weirded out, so he just left.
Yeah.
Weinstein was like jerking off in front of girls so they could get in the movie.
Into a plant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I'd say, here's my ticket to fame. I'm going to write a fucking book about this experience.
Yeah, it's
and
something.
everyone will read it.
Secretly film it somehow, whatever. Yeah.
You know it's going to happen.
All right, a little bit more of this.
I mean, I've been abused because of the abuse. So, like, this has been going on for quite some time. Like, I would do an event.
That is the weird point. He just said, I'm abused. I was abused by the abused. Like, that is the truth of all this stuff. It is just... I'm trying to think of anything other than a vicious cycle to say. I didn't want to say that. It was just, you know, but that's what it is, right?
Or, you know, I created this company, Crazy Angels. And as soon as I started creating the company, we did very well. We were very successful. We were throwing basically promotional parties to try and get the branding, you know, to get people familiar with the name. And at the time, I was very closely associated with Playboy. And this was right before Playboy went down.
How?
And at that time... You know,
Why?
I had much more.
What does that mean?
You just bring that up because Hugh Hefner just died.
Ooh, look at the way I paused it. Look at his face. Uh-huh.
I'd abuse that.
Yeah. Deserved it.
Who knows? Maybe he wrote for Playboy or
Yeah.
hung out there.
I don't really care.
Or naive kind of understandings of those sorts of things. So I thought Playboy was great. I was friends with Hef. And then all of a sudden that whole thing started crumbling and I saw what was going on and I thought, you know, the girls that are in the pages of Playboy, they get something out of it, but is it really worth it for them? And wouldn't it be better if we could create a world where they didn't have to take their clothes off or devalue themselves in order to get that attention.
This is where he's
And
losing me.
I know the casting couch exists.
Yeah, I don't like all this tying together of like adults engaging in basically sort of shitty behavior sexually, but you know what I mean? But it's still, it's not rape. And it's, I don't like this whole blurring of like the, look at this culture. No, the culture you should really be focusing on is the real rape and torture of children.
Child sex trafficking rings that exist.
Yeah, I don't know why they try to always tie all of this stuff together.
I guess to try and cast the widest net, like what's going to grip you, which one thing is going to pull you into my world.
And what,
And also going with the whole like child in a dungeon thing. Some people will just immediately put you in the bucket of insane people. You know, like it's just,
that doesn't happen.
It's so fucking outlandish that it's not worth your time to.
Also, it's too
try and
unpleasant to think about.
Right.
And if people haven't done it, take 1 hour and just look up how many fucking child sex rings have been busted in just the past 10 years or something like that. It's an amazing amount. It just never stops. And there's no like bureau of the government committed to having real statistics on it either.
And there's also no public outcry. There's no, when they arrest 300 people in a pedophile ring, there's no fucking people marching on those people's houses. There's nobody saying, here's who they arrested.
People get all up in arms about the weirdest shit. Like, there's still a giant gay pride parade every year. When, like,
in front of Mike Pence's house, they had to have a gay
dance party in front of Mike. It's like, people get...
It is literally just whatever the TV tells them to think about, and they just don't touch it. They just don't touch pedophilia, so the average person just doesn't think that it's happening. You have to...
or they know it.
See it.
Yeah, I've said this before. Someone needs to use the like emergency weather warning thing where your TV just turns on and just show people some horrific child pornography footage, and then they can't forget
and
that
then
image.
Everybody's guilty of it, and they can't convict anyone.
No, but people will be horrified and demand action. I mean, that's like
we talked
it's the
about
outrage thing that happens with every move Trump makes.
Yeah, we talked about that with the Pizzagate thing. Is like we kind of urge people to like, nobody likes to, but it's just really think about what's going on. Really just fucking picture the torture,
Dive into the dark.
Right, just for a few minutes, just to experience, like, not that we've seen any child porn. It kind of sounds where I know.
And don't go look at it.
But we did listen to that video of the Caillou torture.
On worldcorpo.net.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still skeptical of that whole thing.
Yeah, who knows what that was. But
it was disturbing, and it did have me believing that I was listening to a child being abused, but I thought we looked pretty deep into it, and I just don't know that.
But the only point is, if you really just take a minute and just think about what this really means, a child being abducted from their home and taken into a torturous sex dungeon. Like, think about that. That's happening, And I think it's so horrifying. It's not depicted in movies, really. It's not. There's only one movie I think I could ever think of that does is this a Serbian film, and it's fucking a disturbing movie. You're not even happy that you watch. Like, this movie's insane. Like, you think sometimes you want to watch a really fucked up movie because nothing like shocks you anymore. Like, horror movies are so stupid,
Yeah.
You're like, so I looked up one time a list of like the top 10 most fucked up movies of all time, whatever. And I watched a couple of them, like, this is just, it's graphic. It's like cutting people up and all this shit and whatever. But I'm like, I've seen that. And then it gets to this movie called A Serbian Film. Somebody want to pull up the rundown on a Serbian film?
I don't know if I want to. Do I?
I'll do it. Fuck it. What do you think could make a movie as fucked up as possible? Like, what do you think it's going to be?
I'm gonna say just like horrible.
All right.
Child torture.
They trick somebody into like a situation,
baby torture,
and then they torture the fuck out of them.
Kind of, yeah. That's kind of what it is. It's about. I'm trying to just get. Oh, here's the plot. Semi-retired porn star Mios lives with his wife Maria or something. Marja. I don't know. It's like Serbian shit.
Yeah, whatever.
6-year-old son Peter. His brother Marco, a corrupt police officer, is attracted to the wife and is jealous of Mio's sexual prowess. What is his name? I have to say it a lot. Marja? What is that? I don't know.
Maria. It's probably Maria.
Whatever. She's curious about her husband's past and is concerned about the family's income. One of the former porn co-stars in his porn career offers him a starring role in an act directed by this guy who's an independent pornographer, wishes to cast him for his powerful erection. This is taking way too long. Filming begins at an orphanage. Okay.
Oh boy.
While the film crew follows him, Milos or something seeks a young woman being physically abused and scolded by her mother, having disgraced her deceased war hero husband's memory by becoming a prostitute in a dark room. Why is this like the most detailed plot ever?
What's this dude's name?
Basically, they start.
It's his fault.
Yeah, they start drugging him, and they just like keep him prisoner, and they just keep drugging him, and they make him do like more and more depraved sexual stuff throughout the movie. Like he's fucking dead people and animals and all kinds of shit is going on, and eventually, yeah, it gets really fucked up, and eventually, yeah, he like fucks his son to death at the end.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah. Because they keep giving him this movie that just makes him like a crazy fuck. Or not movie. They keep giving him this drug that just makes him like a crazy fuck maniac that just fucks anything.
But, okay, yeah. But don't they actually make like films torturing people probably for these sick billionaires? Like this, the plot of this movie, they probably really do that kind of shit. Like, I just had an idea, like that World Corpo thing. That could have been just a little clip of a longer film made of torturing kids.
Well, if it was real, yeah, that seems likely. You probably didn't
think
start
it was
and
real.
end where the video starts and ends,
there's
if that's what you're getting at.
No. But people think there's some patriots in the government that are leaking that stuff. I don't know.
Are the cats fighting over there?
Yeah, they're really
I get what you're
distracting.
saying. And everything else on that website was just a mishmash of fucking absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Wait, this says he didn't fuck his son to death. I forget. I thought that was what happened at the end. I guess he killed him. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, it says
I'm like
that,
upset thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. Did this shock you or?
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay, if hold on though, but if he didn't fuck his son to death in this movie, where did you see that?
In his dreams?
I'm pretty sure that happened. I don't know if this is right, what I'm reading.
So the most detailed plot synopsis of all time on Wikipedia does not include the part where he fucks his son to death.
I think at one time, they did have him fucking his own son, who was like 6. But I just remember it being like the most shocking thing I'd ever seen in a movie. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm like not even sure that I should have watched this at all.
No,
I don't
think anybody ever should.
It's widely known as like the darkest, movie of all time.
Hold on. Yeah, he does rape his own son.
Okay.
And then someone comes in to break it up, and in the ensuing brawl, the main character ends up killing a man by ramming his erect penis into his empty eye socket.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
It sounded stupid when you said they sold him on the movie because of his like powerful erections.
Well, he had been a famous porn star.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, and I'm sorry. Yeah, he actually does fuck his son to death. That's true. He does.
Okay, good.
Except they also kill themselves.
That's what the part I was reading.
Yeah.
Got confused. Anyways, whatever.
Spoiler alert.
Gross.
Yeah, I saw that trailer. I didn't want to watch that movie.
No, you didn't think it looked good? Somebody's gonna do it. I mean, everybody could sit around and just think of the craziest fucking most fucked up thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Somebody's eventually gonna start putting shit like that on film,
Yeah. How did we get? Why are we talking about this? How did we get here? Was there a point, or did we just want to talk about this movie? I can't remember.
What are you doing? I don't know.
I just thought there might be an overall message.
We were talking about
here.
pedophiles.
Yeah. Don't you remember?
Yeah, I was saying that someone's got to pump some of it on a broadcast, really freak people
Yeah.
out.
Oh, okay. So you're saying we should.
So everybody go watch a Serbian film.
Yeah. There we go.
I would
Got
kind
it.
of recommend it. It's weird. I would also recommend 3 Men, 1 Hammer.
Two Girls,
I know
One
that
Cup.
one.
Well, it's not based on the same thing, but it's,
No.
that's the name, or the name came from. The Dnepropetrovsk killers or whatever they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
You didn't see that.
What's the worst?
3 Men, 1 Hammer? Yeah, I've watched it like 5 times.
Is it a real video?
Huh?
What, a movie or?
Yeah, no, it's a real video of. Pull that story up really quick. It's these guys that are fucking in Russia or wherever the hell they were. She'll find out, but somewhere over there,
Serbia.
and they were serial killers that like filmed a lot of their killing and torture and stuff. So it's basically a video of them killing a guy with a hammer and a screwdriver, and it takes like 20 minutes. And this guy like just never dies, and they just like keep just slamming him in the face with this hammer until his face is just like a gurgling pool of mush. Like it didn't look like a human being at all anymore. It was just this like gurgling hole, and he's just like like still breathing, and they're just like taking a screwdriver and like sticking it all the way into his eye and like screwing it around and like twisting it up and stuff, and like you're just like I had to look away a lot during this. But I did see a hilarious reaction video to it, where this black kid, somebody had made a reaction video compilation of people watching this 3 Men, 1 Hammer video, and this one black kid is watching it, and he's just like, oh god, and then he like picks up a slice of pizza and is eating it while he's watching it, and the guy who made the video put a little arrow in one of those word boxes that said, hell yeah for niggas always eating at inappropriate times. But while you're watching it, it was pretty fucking like hard to, you probably watch like 3 seconds and you like look away, you're like, and you come back like, no, you just die. They're taking like a screwdriver and just sticking it into his stomach like over and over and like twisting it around, like trying to fucking kill him, and whatever. But dude, so like, and God, it's the worst. They had the story was they had posed as like they had broke down and waited for this guy, stopped on a moped and was like, hey, you guys need some help? And they were like, yeah, smash. These kids were it's fucking out of it.
They went on a crazy
they killed
killing
like
spree.
30 people, right?
Yeah. They killed 12 people within like 4 days.
Yeah, and they were just driving around finding like, there's another video I watched that they
Children, elderly, vagrants,
Homeless
people under the
people,
influence of alcohol. Yeah, anybody vulnerable to attack, they were just fucking murdering.
Oh, there's another video where they like chop up a homeless lady alive.
Yeah, they filmed most of it. Ew.
Yeah, most of it didn't ever get leaked. A couple things got leaked.
Yeah, that's just...
I'll tell you, I would honestly say this. I do not recommend watching that video.
No.
There's nothing much to be gained from it. And it was hard to find, really hard to find. And like the first like 50 links I found for it were all removed from whatever site, and then finally I found some crazy site that still had it on there. That video probably only stays up in one place for a couple days at a time.
Yeah.
What other kind of videos on that site did you see?
I didn't. I just saw the link. Like I was looking in all these forums for like working links for that video, and went through like 50 of them and finally found one that worked.
Is that the most fucked up?
Yes.
Shit you've seen?
Yeah. I watched one not too long ago.
Real quick before we get into this, I just want to issue a correction. They killed 21 people and attacked 8 people who survived.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyway.
Would you...
And they had no reason to. They actually said
it's just all
we
random.
wanted to have like a summer of serial killing that we could look back on when we were old. That was like their whole explanation. Yeah.
Obviously not the brightest.
What's their name?
Something Ukrainian.
Like it was in Ukraine, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dnepropetrovsk.
Probably Dnepropetrovsk killers.
Yeah. You'll find it.
Yeah.
Maniacs. They're called the Maniacs.
That one, I think we may have talked about it on the show too. There was the one that I saw not too long ago where they just like the Mexican cartel like just fucking chops up and slaughters an entire family, like 8 people on, and they're filming and they're all like listening to that same music that cooks listen to all the time.
Yeah.
The same radio station. And they're listening. So they got this on and they're all talking and laughing. Everybody's dead. They're just like casually walking around like you're at your landscaping job or some shit talking to your buddies. And they're just hacking arms and legs off and tossing them into these barrels where they lit fires in all these barrels. And they're just like, blah, 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 and just like hack, and throw it in there like a fucking tree limb. Like the casualness of it was maybe even creepier than the 3 Men 1 Hammer. Just like the work, like just another day at work, chop, boom, burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very fucking creepy. Really, really creepy.
Not a person, just a body.
Yeah, right. And they're chopping the heads off. I remember the weirdest one was like the guy, like he was like casually walking and they were like had chopped off a couple arms and he just like picks up this lady's head off the ground and like he started to walk to the garbage can and then realized, I can carry more, and like picks up an arm too and is like,
God.
And then like carries it over and throws it in, goes back, gets a leg, carries it over and throws it in.
I don't feel so good.
No.
Why? What's wrong with this?
Getting to me.
Really?
So it was just like they were all natural.
All right. Is somebody going to break out the axe? I got to be the one to say it? Who's the first to go? Just leave this on because we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
This is the Overdose talk show. We'll be back all the time now, right? 2 days a week?
Yeah.
Doing the full quality show, and we'll have a video element very soon.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. David Box, you pretty confident about your abilities there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because we have talked you up.
Boy, oh boy. And we're looking for investors out there. So.
Yeah. We're good now.
Yeah, everybody, we'll see you soon. Good night. Nobody else says good night?
Just you.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah.